Tennis bad boy Nick Kyrgios has been slapped with his latest hefty fine following an outburst at the Miami Open. It is the latest in a long line of punishments levied upon the outspoken Aussie, who has built a reputation as a controversial figure within the men's game. His latest display of poor behavior came in his defeat to Jannik Sinner in Miami. Kyrgios incurred the wrath of the ATP officials early in the match, as he was handed a code violation for inaudible use of foul language. Kyrgios was later docked a point for unsportsmanlike conduct, following his dressing down of umpire Carlos Bernardes after his walkie-talkie made a noise during a rally. He was later slapped with a one-game penalty for his racket abuse. The Aussie has now been fined a total of £26,635 for his behaviour in that match, after the ATP chose to punish him for 4 separate offences. His audible obscenity and 2 counts of unsportsmanlike conduct were worth £3,805 each, while his verbal abuse of the umpire cost him a princely sum of £15,220. It is the Aussie's second big fine in the US this month, after also being forced to pay for more misbehaviour at the Indian Wells Masters earlier in March. He was charged £19,028 after an incident which caused him to almost hit a bally boy with his racket after smashing it into the floor. And this latest punishment marks the 3rd time he has been fined so far in 2022. Kyrgios was charged a comparatively meagre £7,611 in January for a mixture of swearing and some more racket abuse at the Australian Open. This latest punishment also means Kyrgios has been fined at a remarkable 16 separate events since 2015. That number becomes even more shocking when the fact he barely played any tennis at all in 2020 and 2021 is considered. The Aussie was not fined in either of those years, but that was after he was the recipient of the largest financial punishment ever handed out by the ATP. At the 2019 Cincinnati Open he was fined £85,983 over several incidents including 5 counts of unsportsmanlike conduct. Kyrgios also unleashed a tirade of abuse upon chair umpire Fergus Murphy, who he referred to as the worst effing referee ever and a effing tool. The outburst also saw him slapped with a 16-week suspension and a further fine, though both those additional punishments were deferred for a 6-month period of probation. That huge punishment in Cincinnati came after he had already been fined £15,219 at the Rome Masters earlier that year. Kyrgios also maintained a streak of being fined at least twice in every calendar year between 2015 and 2019. A £13,315 at Queen's in 2018 came a few months after another small punishment at his home Grand Slam in Melbourne. The previous year, his former personal record fine of £23,657 had been set at the Shanghai Masters after the Aussie bizarrely shook hands and walked off the court while one set down against Steve Johnson. Kyrgios was fined at 4 separate tournaments in 2016, including more controversy in Shanghai and separate Grand Slam violations at Wimbledon, Roland Garros, and Melbourne. And in 2015, he had begun his punishment spree with fines at the Australian Open, Montreal Open and again at Wimbledon.